Looking for a great place for breakfast or lunch? Try the Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Located in the beautiful Ventura Harbor, this remarkable gem is locally owned and operated, serving a wide selection of breakfast and lunch favorites. With jaw-dropping views of the beautiful Ventura Harbor, Ventura's famous two trees, and the Topa Topa Mountains, what more could you ask for? Well, how about a full espresso bar and delightful tropical libations mixed up by our own Dazu Prime? And with their pet-friendly patio, even man's best friend can enjoy the sights and sounds of this unique destination. Pair all of this with the delicious food offered here, and you've got a match made in heaven. Visit Harbor Cove Cafe online at harborcovecafe.net or give them a call at 805-658-1639. Harbor Cove Cafe, located at 1867 Spinnaker Drive in the Ventura Harbor. We'll see you there.
Edge FM, irritatingly irresistible internet radio. EdgeFM.com.
It's Sunday morning, 8 a.m. That means it's time to drink some beer and talk some anime and other stuff. This is the Anime and Alcohol Show, live here on Rough Edge FM, with your host, Devin Crow.
Oh, what's good, yo?
I didn't know that you spoke a foreign language.
I did. I do. People always ask me, do you really? What the fuck is that? The new version of the app.
That always happens when we restart the computer. And I got to figure out some way to get rid of it. I know there's a way.
No,
I just got to do
there's
it.
a well.
Yes.
People always ask me, do you really drink beer at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday?
We don't.
And here's the thing. I say, yeah, absolutely we do. And they're like, well, why? I'm like, well, Sunday's the Lord's day. and here's the thing. The Lord would not have given me the idea to start this show in the first place if he didn't want me to go through with it, right?
I think you're right.
It's the Lord's will to have beer at 8 in the morning on a Sunday.
We should probably change to 8-ish because it's usually 8:10, 8:15.
Well,
you know,
most of
the 8 o'clock hour.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties today.
We did. We were a little late getting started there, thanks to audio driver.
Yeah, somebody was fucking around with the computer.
Yeah, it wasn't even the audio driver. Somebody unplugged the audio cable.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we have a beer today. We forgot to put that in the little thingamajigger, but I'll.
We did. I'll add it to the audio one at least. We can change it on YouTube now.
We have Poseidon Brewing Co. Fruit Blonde series, and this is Don't Be a Peach. And it's a peach blonde ale. It is a 6% alcohol, so up there for blonde.
Yeah.
21 IBUs, 16 fluid ounces.
So not a very bitter beer by any stretch. 21 IBUs is not up there.
But I bought 2 different 4-packs of beers when we were there last weekend, and the blood orange one, which is something bobble, some whatever, is a blood orange like IPA, and that shit was fucking delicious.
Yeah, it is. I've had that before there. And Poseidon, by the way, if you're not familiar with it, it's in Ventura. It's one of Ventura's many breweries. We have 6 or 7 breweries out here.
It's like over by where our old office used to be, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And that moved in right after we moved offices. I was so disappointed. It's like, wait a minute. You said in 3 months there's going to be a brewery here. And there was, but we were gone and it kind of sucked. So
yeah.
So what is that? We'll see what that blood orange one is called. Or blood orange beer. Because it was really good. Bubblehead Blood, you were right. Bubblehead Blood Orange Pale Ale. And it's very good. Poseidon does a lot of good beers. They typically stick to the stronger, more bitter beers.
Morning, Andrew.
But not necessarily all their beers are that way. As an example,
Andrew said, liking the beard, Scotty.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm liking it too. I don't have to worry about working anymore.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's the retirement beard.
It is the retirement beard.
So anyway, there's a date in the bottom of that can.
Oh yeah. That must have been when it was canned.
2/28.
2/8.
2/8.
2/8/24.
Yeah, that's Do they do that in the bottom of every can?
I don't know.
That would take some work, I would think.
Yeah, that's Sharpie.
All right, let's let this sit for a couple minutes because
Let's
it's foaming just a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this. Poseidon does a good job. Like I
So
said,
yeah,
they're
as
usually
that's going,
stronger beers is what they typically go. But
yeah. We went and saw the Demon Slayer Hashira arc movie. See, here's the thing. So they have done ever since Mugen Train. They have done a look at that, it's number 1.
Yesterday it was number 1 at the box office.
Yeah.
Beating out Bob Marley and Ordinary Angels.
They have done a movie Demon Slayer at the beginning of every arc, starting with Mugen Train. And in my opinion, Mugen Train was really the only actual movie that they've done.
Okay.
Like it felt like a cinematic experience.
The other ones were what?
So basically it was the last couple episodes of the last season, and it's going to be the first couple episodes of the new season. So it's like an hour and 40 minutes long. So that's almost that's like 5 episodes essentially, right?
Right.
If they're 22 minutes a piece. And like it's not a bad thing. It's very enjoyable. I just wish they wouldn't spend so much time on the last couple episodes of the last season. It felt like the majority of the movie was just a recap of the last season.
That's been your complaint before, hasn't it?
Anime does that all. Perfect example, Solo Leveling, which is one of the anime seasons that's going on right now. One of the anime shows that's going on right now. And we're on episode 7, and they did a recap episode. It's episode 7.5. Do I need a recap episode halfway through the season?
You wouldn't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. A recap episode would be nice from a first to a second season.
Sure.
Where there's been a year or two in development. That's fine. That's okay. A little recap episode to get me back on pace if I forgot. I don't need a recap episode
halfway through.
Fuck, man.
Well, they're not taking up space or anything, right? It's 7.5, so it's not like you're losing an episode to a recap, right?
No, you are losing an episode.
You are losing an episode. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, you're losing an episode on an already short show, a short season that's gonna be. So,
wow.
But I mean, it was fun. And I brought. It's funny. I text my brother. I was like, "Hey, I'm here. I brought some beer if we want to have some." And he's like, I brought beer too. And we snuck a bunch of beer into the movie theaters. And we were cracking open cans, dude. And his friend brought like a Mike's Hard Lemonade or whatever, one of the big giant tall cans.
Yeah.
I drank 2 of these 16-ounce, the bubble head one. And
you were bored for the parts that were,
and I don't know that. I think the alcohol content on that one is like 8% or 7% or something like that.
Let's find out. I got it pulled up here.
Yep, step it aboard.
5.6.
Okay, only 5.6. So it's actually, for a pale ale, pretty low in alcohol content compared to this blonde, which is 6.
Is a 6.
But I drank both of those, and during the movie, I haven't been able to get drunk in months. So
I know you keep talking about trying, and it's just not hitting.
It didn't do anything to me.
You need to switch to whiskey.
And I'm trying, man. I've been trying, and
so you were disappointed in the movie overall, or you had a
like,
good time because it was a community thing, or what?
So like, I wasn't disappointed with the movie because I knew what I was expecting, because that's what they did with the Swordsmith Village arc when they did a movie as well. It was the last couple of episodes, and then the first couple episodes of that. So I knew what to expect, because the Mugen Train was a huge cinematic experience, and so yeah, it was fine. It was enjoyable. It was in the D-Box theater.
Yeah.
The seats didn't move or anything, but that screen was massive and it was fucking loud. Holy
yeah. Well,
shit.
that's how the movie experience should be.
Yeah.
That's why Josh and I are going to go see Dune 2 on Thursday.
Okay.
And we bought IMAX tickets because you need to see that on the biggest screen, the loudest possible thing you can see. But you know how much tickets were? How much did you pay for the Demon Slayer tickets?
$20 a head.
$24.50 for Dune.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I actually balked. I thought, God, $25 for a movie,
right?
And I thought, yeah, it is Dune 2. It is IMAX. I can get that little butthole popcorn cup. maybe it's okay. I'm not going to do that a lot.
Yeah, I almost bought one of the Kung Fu Panda popcorn.
They have a whole collection of Kung Fu Panda stuff.
Yeah, there's like a Chinese takeout shaped
Oh,
one.
that's fun.
And then there's another one with like Poe holding a little cauldron that your popcorn
Which
goes
popcorn
into.
comes in. That's cool.
Yeah, almost. But
You know what? I'm a geek for those things. I love those things.
Yeah.
I've got one from Jurassic World. I've got one from Venom. I'm just a geek for them. I said if something from a movie I like, I'll probably buy the stupid popcorn.
You know what we should do? We should get tickets to Godzilla, right? The Godzilla Kong.
Yeah.
Or Kong X Godzilla or whatever. And then I'll 3D print some giant Godzilla heads on my new printer. And then we'll put our popcorn in that and eat our popcorn out of that.
Everybody will be all jealous, and then you can sell them later.
Yeah.
That's coming up, man. It's just next month.
It'll be the weekend after I get back from President's Club.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
And my vacation has been confirmed, so I will not be there for audit.
When is that happening? What day is that?
What, the audit?
Yeah.
18th. That's what it starts.
Oh, March 18th.
Yeah, March 18th.
That's right. I thought it was this month for some reason.
No, March 18th.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to drop by and say hi to everybody, see what's going on, but I didn't want to do it when the auditors were there.
Obviously. Yeah. So I think the head's gone down.
It
so
is.
We'll give this a try here.
To your health, everybody. Chin chin.
Chin Peru.
That is a nice creamy beer. The peach flavor is present.
I get no peach flavor.
Really? I get a little peach flavor, and I get beer flavor too. Oh, I definitely get peach flavor. You get none?
No,
weird.
None. But the thing is as well, I feel like this is a lot more bitter for 21 IBUs.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah,
I would expect it to be higher. Based on
35.
Because you get the sweetness of the peach. I get that, but you also get the bitterness of the beer. So I think it's.
I see. Like if I was to pick the bobblehead blood orange one, I would go with the blood orange one. That beer was far. I could drink that like juice.
I don't remember it well enough to comment on that, but I remember it was good. It was very good.
I meant to bring one with me, but I drank them all before I could get one here.
Trying to get drunk.
No, I was just enjoying it too much. They tasted really good. Yeah.
So that's a good beer. So Poseidon, nice job on that one.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that the burger guy wasn't there. There's a guy who does smash burgers there. And I'm not even sure he still does that, but he would show up there and man, his hamburgers were awesome. They were so good, especially when you're sitting there having a beer, and enjoying that. But now he's doing, he's kind of got a permanent place at the Ventura Music Hall.
Oh,
so I don't know that he's still doing the Poseidon Brewery on certain dates. Well, something I should look into and find out. But
do you watch Saturday Night Live?
Occasionally.
So, one of my favorite comedians was hosting Saturday Night Live last
That's
night.
right. Yeah, that was a big deal. A lot of stories about that.
A lot of story. Well, because he was fired from Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
He was actually going to be one of the cast members there, and then because of some racist joke he said on a podcast many years ago, there was a big outcry, and he apologized for it, and they were like, "Great," and then people weren't happy, and then so they asked him to apologize again, and he was like, "Nah." So then they basically paid his contract out, and they fired him. And he hosted last night. It was hilarious.
Was it?
Oh man.
I'll have to watch it.
It was so good. His opening monologue was good. He does an amazing Trump impression.
Yeah.
And so they made fun of the Trump sneakers that Trump did.
Yeah.
And I was so happy with it. And
the Trump sneakers that apparently made in China.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I was a little pissed because I was watching it and then the show cut off like near the end, and I couldn't pick up where I left off because it started up another live broadcast. So I couldn't watch it, so I had to wait for that live broadcast again to watch the last 10 minutes of the show.
Oh, that sucks.
I was a little mad.
Yeah,
but
that's the beauty of it, though. If you have the streaming networks, you can watch it the next day.
Yeah, I was watching it on Peacock live.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching on Peacock live.
But still, you can watch it later anyway.
Yeah, I picked it up, and at the end, I watched it.
Yeah.
At the end. So
I hate when it cuts off and then it makes you start at the beginning again.
Yeah.
Fast forward 50 minutes to get to the last 10 minutes.
But it was super good. I was
good. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
What's his name? Gillis.
Shane Gillis. I'm seeing him in May.
That's right. You got tickets for
him. Yeah. But in his opening monologue, it was so funny. In his Shane Gillis struggles in a Saturday Night Live monologue. I was just gonna say he was struggling a little bit because he was like, "Listen, all the material I have is not for TV."
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That says he bombs open. Well, he probably didn't bomb it. He probably just like it's probably part of the shtick. They just didn't get it. Maybe
He did not bomb it. He was kind of like joking around that he was bombing, but I was laughing his ass off. He told this hilarious joke that just made Letitia laugh too. He was talking about, his mom was saying, when did you stop being, my best friend? Because like we were all our mom's like best friend. And he was like, when did you stop being like gay? Gay for your mom. You're your mom's best. You're your mom's gay best friend. She would pick you up from school, and you'd be like, "So how was your day?" Be listening to her music at the time too, and all this other shit. And he was like, "I think every guy knows when you stopped being your mom's best friend, as when you whacked it for the first time."
Like, oh.
But
I was trying to find a picture of him to put up here. I can't find one that's the right format, so I apologize, folks. Oh, there's one right there.
But yeah, this shit was so funny. I was laughing my ass off. I didn't think he bombed. I think just all the media outlets are just like, oh, he bombed. He sucks, because he got canceled from.
What I just did there. Yeah, and that's probably exactly it. Somebody who didn't like what he had done before and is complaining about that. We're going to put up a picture of him right now so you can see what he looks like, folks. Give me 1 second.
But I am genuinely looking forward to.
There's Shane.
I'm looking forward to his thing. I am definitely going to try and get. Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to see where the retard section is, so I can take my Tourette's ass over.
You're entitled to that. You've got that affliction, so you should do it. By the way, make sure you get his popcorn bucket because you've seen that one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So cool. Looking forward to it, and that it was so. It's the first time I watched SNL in probably 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I wonder if the ratings are out yet because I'm sure they were pretty big for that. Let's find out if we can check if the ratings showed up yet. It probably hasn't. It's a little early still, but yeah, there's no talk about the ratings yet. So,
but I mean, Shane Gillis is probably one of the biggest comedians in the world right now. And
Lorne Michaels wanted him back. He didn't want to let him go in the first place.
Shane Gillis is actually friends with Michael Che, who's the head writer for SNL. And he's the black guy on the news.
Yeah,
news recap.
Great.
Yeah. So him and Shane are really good friends as well. But yeah, I don't think Lorne Michaels actually wanted to fire Shane.
That was my understanding, that Lorne, it's like, we got to do this because of this, and then they did it the first time, and then they want another one, and Shane said no. And Lorne, I don't. My hands are tied. He works for a network. He has to do what the network says. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I was really looking forward to watching that last night, and I'll
check it out. I will look. That's the beauty of streaming. You can watch that stuff anytime you want to. So
yeah,
I'll check that out for sure.
So yeah, a new anime dropped. On Adult Swim, and it's called Ninja Kamui, and it's not an anime. So I would call it like heavily anime inspired. I believe it is an American made show, but it follows our main character. It's a massive it's a revenge story. After escaping his clan and going into hiding in a rural America, former ninja Joe Hegan is ambushed by assassins who exact bloody retribution on him and his family for his betrayal. With his wife and son now dead, Joe returns to the ninja ways to avenge his murdered family and set sights on taking down the very clan that made him.
That was like it's made for me.
Yes.
My kind of viewing.
Dude, it's like, I mean, with what goes on in there, it's like anime John Wick.
Yeah, that's what I can imagine.
Yes, it was very entertaining. A lot of blood. And this is how I know it's not a Japanese anime, because a lot of that would have been censored. And a lot of blood.
And no censorship.
No censorship.
Because I won't watch it if it's censored.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
It has it has very American style animation done on it, but it's on Max. The first 2 episodes are on Max right now. I think it has a a delayed release for streaming. This looks like it was on episode 4, and on Max it just has 2 episodes at the moment.
Okay, so there's more coming though.
Yeah. It's it's not simulcast or anything, but it is entertaining. It's very good. I was actually watching it in Japanese, but it's native is English, so you could watch it in English if you want to.
Yeah.
But I put it over in Japanese to see what it sounded like, and it sounded really good.
So you said the native is Japanese?
Yes.
Okay.
No. The native's English.
Well, I'm gonna watch the native because
Yeah.
I want to hear it in the original actor's voice.
Yeah.
That's always even though voice acting's a little different.
And the studio that's doing it too, the studio, let me see, is Sola Entertainment, and they do entertainment in the world, leading multimedia production company focusing on anime, film, and games. This company is actually doing the Rick and Morty anime movie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it's supposed to set Q1 2024, so it might be coming out soon.
They did an episode of Rick and Morty anime style that was very interesting. It was in Japanese.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it, but I remember it was part of a season, and I was kind of shocked to see it when I did. By the way, Ninja Kamui is 8.58 on my anime list. That's a pretty good rating.
It's a good show. I kind of see it like I don't know if it's quite an anime or not. It seems very Americanized just with the animation style and stuff. But I mean, the Japanese dubbing for it, very well done. And again, I don't know if that's the native language or not. It seems more or less because it's releasing on Adult Swim, so that's really what the primary language is going to be if it's released on Adult Swim.
That makes sense.
But it's good. Directed by Sung-Hoo Park, which is
sorry, I closed it out.
Yeah, that's a Korean. I think that's a very Korean name. So, but definitely check it out. I highly
sounds right up
recommend
my
it.
alley.
Yeah.
I'll check it out for sure.
I was gonna text you, but I was like, he's probably coming home from Fraser Park at night. So.
We actually got back pretty early. We were home by 6, I think. So,
okay.
We just went out to lunch at Lucille's, which is a barbecue place out in Valencia. It was outstanding. It was very good. And then it just then went into a record store because there's actually a physical record store where you can go buy actual vinyl records and CDs and stuff. It was kind of cool because this guy who owns it, he kind of he's an artist. He draws pictures of monsters like Frankenstein and stuff like that. He kind of sits there and holds court. So like at one point there were like 6 or 7 people in the store, and he stands up and he goes, "All right, now that we got this many people here, let's all talk about our first concert. What was your first concert, sir?" And so pretty soon all the customers are talking about their first show, and it was their first concert. And it was kind of fun because like that guy's having a blast owning a record store.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's a good way to get people fired up about their music, you know? So it was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, that's why we did get back early enough. What I did is I watched The Last Airbender.
Okay.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm only familiar with the M. Night Shyamalan movie, which most people say you shouldn't be familiar with.
No.
So I don't know much about it, but I will tell you this. It felt very anglicized to me. The voices all seemed just pure American accents. The images seemed to be American images more than Japanese images. And of course the language was English. The dialects were also very like some of the cliches and terms that people use when they talk were straight out American.
Well, that's how it was in the cartoon.
That's what I wanted to know if that was the case. Because
so Avatar: The Last Airbender is an American cartoon. I would definitely say it was inspired by anime, Japanese animation, but it is a full blown American cartoon.
So that's nothing wrong. That's just different than I expected. I thought it was a Japanese anime.
So I haven't seen it because I don't have Netflix. The main complaints that I've been hearing about it is they gave it this Game of Thrones-esque feeling to it and took a lot of the comedy away from.
There's no comedy.
Yes. So the cartoon itself had a lot of comedic elements to it. And also they took away the misogyny that Sokka had, which a lot of people are very upset about. And the reason is because you see Sokka grow as a character from this misogynistic character who came from this very isolated tribe where the men did all the work and this and that, and growing into this character who starts viewing things different. And that was the beauty of Avatar: The Last Airbender, was that you saw character growth in there. you saw all this growth that was going on, and whether it was through someone viewing their ways differently from being outside of an isolated tribe, or going on a complete revenge story, basically, of capturing the Airbender so he could be accepted by his father kind of nonsense, there was growth in it. And by removing a lot of this stuff out of there, you're kind of taking away the core value of the show. And the other problem is the comedy aspect of the show, right? Because the other thing is, like, these are still kids, right? And kids are going to have fun from time to time as well, and you saw those aspects in there in the cartoon of like, oh, this is a lighthearted show, and then all of a sudden shit goes down and you're like, oh my god, that's right, they're still in danger. But you have these breakaway moments where there's comedic aspects to it, and there's adventure and all this other stuff, and they went with this total serious Game of Thrones
They
vibe.
did. That's exactly right. It feels that way. It feels but like I said, an Americanized version, an anglicized version of that, even for Game of Thrones is that way. If that's the way it's supposed to be, I'm okay with that. It's just not what I expected.
No, it was very anglicized, and I mean, the Fire Nation definitely had a very, like, Chinese Asian-esque look to it and stuff, and even the characters had kind of not necessarily like Chinese accents to them, but they did have a different speech path.
I didn't get any of that in this.
So I have heard that, like, it's not great, but it's certainly better than the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong one that was done.
Yeah, that movie was what's interesting about that movie is I think that movie was equally hated as it was loved, because so many people really love that movie. To this day, they talk about it, but so many people hated that movie. There was no in between.
I've never met a single person that liked that movie.
Duke, if you turn off the computer, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Hey, lie down.
he is up here reaching with his leg to make sure I know he's there, but he's so close to the power button.
No, lie down.
I don't know that I'll watch any more of it. It just didn't catch my attention. Even the fight scenes were kind of like, so what? Yeah. But I don't know the show as well as you do, so maybe one of these days you'll get a chance to take a look at it and make a comment on it. I can see what the other people are talking about. There's no comedy. It's like a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
Everybody is so deadly serious, even though this ridiculousness is going on all around them.
Yeah.
But
the show needs that without that comedic aspect of it, because Sokka was a really comedic character, and without any of that, the show is just flat.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it feels like. And it's first episode, so you never know, because first episodes are already tough because you gotta introduce everything.
Yeah.
And it maybe gets better, but I don't know that I'll give it a second episode. It's just not my thing. So we shall see. But anyway, I did go out of my way to watch that last night so we could talk about it here briefly. I forgot that you don't have Netflix, so didn't get a chance to see it.
I don't have Netflix. Yeah, the reason I was asking if you had Stars, because I just want to watch John Wick 4.
Oh,
and that's all. I just want to watch John Wick 4. So I was going to ask you for your password just to watch John Wick 4 if you had it or not.
Yeah, it's John Wick 4 is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's on more places than that, though. Is it only on Stars?
Everything else you have to pay to watch it, and Stars is like subscription.
Yeah,
nonsense.
I hate that when you're looking for something. It's like, oh, it's on Stars for $9.99 extra.
Yeah. So that was
decent beer.
That was the with what was on there? I think it was the Grammys. Letitia wanted to watch the Grammys. And it was on Paramount Plus, I think it was. It was either Paramount Plus, but you could only watch the Grammys if you had the Paramount Plus paid service premium.
That's all changing. It's all that. Last night, the Screen Actors Guild Award was only on Netflix. Only place you could watch the Screen Actors Guild Award was only on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we actually watched it. I kind of liked it, even though, in the other award shows, when somebody's giving a speech, they're all, hurry up, come on, well, there's no commercials.
Yeah.
So they don't have to hurry and rush. So people spoke a little longer than they did at most of the things. They also were more interesting because it's Netflix. Like Pedro Pascal, he wins Best Actor for The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
He walks up on stage and he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk because I thought I could get drunk." He didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah.
And he looks at his statue. He's all, fuck? You don't get that on ABC, you know?
No, not
And
gonna
it
get
made
that on CBS or Fox
Right.
or ABC, maybe Fox.
Made it feel more real. I didn't like the hosts of the show so much, but I thought the show was fine. I mean, it went long. It was 3 hours and some,
Ooh.
but it felt more real because it could be real, you know?
Who were the hosts?
I don't remember. That tells you how good they were. I'll tell you who the he wasn't really the host, but he was like present several times throughout, was Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that man does, I'll watch it. He was having
You
a
gonna
ball.
watch the Knuckles spinoff on?
If he's in it, yeah.
Yeah, he plays Knuckles.
Then I'm
so-
gonna watch it.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Idris is amazing.
It's
He's
the Sonic
amazing.
the Hedgehog spinoff.
Yeah. One of the
Um,
hosts last night on that show had a bow tie that went straight out like a foot on each side. And I told Shelly he looked like the villain from Sonic.
Dr.
Even though it
Eggman.
was a mustache, not a bow tie, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, have you seen the reviews for Madam Web?
Let's look at them, shall we?
Oh my god, that movie is bombing. I mean, absolutely bombing.
It is. It really.
Oh,
bad shape.
I'm so glad you went there because
We wanna talk about that, too.
13%. Go down.
Did you find it?
13% on the right. Oh nope, up
Oh.
one. One more over. There
Oh,
you
it's
go.
right there.
Yeah, my right, your left.
Oh
I
my
think.
goodness. Yeah, 13%.
This movie is
Now the audience score is 57. That's a big difference, but it's still bad
it's still
because 60 and below is considered rotten. Let's read some of the reviews, shall we? Let's see what we Sony and Marvel's latest entry in their shared Spider-Man cinematic universe has no better comparison than that of a rickety wooden coaster you'd find at a family-owned amusement park, brutal on the body and precariously constructed.
I love this one. I almost admire the sheer lack of effort on display in acting, storytelling, and set pieces. To say that Johnson in particular phoned this performance in would be an insult to Alexander Graham Bell.
This guy says, "Oh well, on to the next Sony project. August's heavily delayed Aaron Taylor Johnson vehicle, Craven the Hunter. Let's see if that one can make a lick of sense." I don't think so. I think Craven the Hunter is going to tank too.
It collapses so pathetically that studio executives might as well dial 911 to rescue it.
Wow.
So this movie is, I mean, there are people like, oh, I'm so excited for Madam Web, and then they go into and then they like film themselves walking out of the theater just like laughing.
Yeah.
Just like laughing in disbelief of how bad this movie
It's
is.
supposed to be so atrocious. A film so bad it would almost put you off going to the cinema.
Oh, here's a positive one. Dakota Johnson's droll
In on the joke.
in on the joke turn plus weirdly welcoming stupidity at least makes Sony's ill-fated, not quite a superhero movies a paintless good time.
That sounds like he's trying to compliment it,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know
I
how.
feel like he got a paycheck from Sony.
The film takes place in 2003, and it feels like it was made then, back in the days of Ben Affleck's Daredevil and Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider. Don't be ragging on Ghost Rider.
Don't be ragging.
That's just that guy.
First of all, the second one was bad. I think we could all agree that the second Ghost Rider movie was bad,
It was.
but the first one was very entertaining.
But
and
would you pay to see another one with Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I would. Even if I knew it was gonna be shit, I would pay.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Yep.
So the Borderlands movie trailer.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it, but
I sent you the link.
I know, but I was doing something. I sometimes I'm somewhere.
What are you doing? You're retired.
I know, but sometimes you're somewhere where you can't watch something with volume.
Ugh.
You know, I was at the library. Yeah, I don't know where I was.
So the Borderlands movie trailer dropped, and I am a huge fan of the Borderlands franchise.
Yes.
I was a big fan of 1. I was a massive fan of 2. I played 3, and I have some problems with this. So, like, 1, I hate the casting.
Do you?
I absolutely hate the casting.
Okay, now tell me why, because it's a pretty good cast as far as names are concerned.
Yes. So the casting names are phenomenal. We have Kate Blanchett, you know, we have who plays-
Academy Award winner Kate Blanchett, right?
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis,
Academy Award winner Jamie Lee Curtis.
Kevin Hart. You know, these are all huge actors, right? And they don't fit the characters.
That's a problem.
And Jack Black. Jack Black is really the only person, in my opinion, that fits this character so well. And the big problem I have with this is that, like, well, I think Kate Blanchett would have been an amazing Lilith 10 years ago. She looks so old in this movie.
Does she?
She looks so old in the movie. And I can't get over how much older she looks. You see the comparison?
I'm not sure that's fair. Let's look here.
No, that's a really fair comparison. That's legitimately how she looks.
Well, that looks like a cartoon, though. Is that's how she looks?
Yes, on the right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You see how much older she looks comparing to
That character?
Yeah.
She does.
And so, like,
by the way, she's still hot.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's not hot. I just think she's too old for the character. And then Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis, again, so old. I think Jamie Lee Curtis would have been a great casting for Tannis 20 years ago.
Yeah, that one's way off. And again, Jamie Lee Curtis, still hot.
Still a fantastic actress.
But not... Look how much younger that character is.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, it makes no sense to me whatsoever as her as that character. I don't know how they casted that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because Jamie Lee Curtis is just a huge name.
She is a huge name, that's for sure. But that's not the right reason to cast somebody.
Yes.
Well, in a sense, it is, because what's the bottom line of any movie? To put butts in the seats.
Yes. And then Kevin Hart as Roland. Now, while Kevin Hart, in my opinion, I mean, Roland's a black character, and Kevin Hart's obviously a black actor.
I just briefly want to say, is who's Tiny Tina? That's not the one that Jamie Lee Curtis is playing.
No.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kevin Hart plays Roland, who is a serious soldier.
Apparently not anymore.
And why would they cast a comedian as this overly serious? You know, like I think he fits look wise, you know, but like personality, no.
All right. He's also very short.
Yeah. Roland wasn't a super tall guy.
Okay. He looks like a warrior. Is what I think of that. So he's okay. That's fine then.
Yeah.
I will tell you what I think the reasoning on this is. Kevin Short wants to be known.
Kevin Short.
I call him that all the time. Kevin Hart wants to be known as a serious actor and more than anything, an action actor.
Yeah.
He has a movie on Netflix, I think it is, called Lift, in which he plays a spy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a very good movie. And a lot of it is because it's kind of hard to buy Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Not just because of his stature, but because he's so well known as a comedic actor.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's probably what it is. He's probably trying to, I bet he plays that part with no comedy.
No, there's comedy in it. In the trailer.
Okay, but I haven't seen. I should have seen the trailer. Is that comedy fit for the character?
No.
Okay, so that's
Mike Thomas says big names don't always mean good movies, and that is 100%.
It is 100% true, but it might mean more butts in the seats.
Yeah, and so and then like I don't know where it follows in the story. It almost looks like it follows the first movie, but they have Krieg and Tiny Tina, and Krieg and Tiny Tina weren't introduced until the second game. And
that's the game. That's not helping us.
And so like of all the characters, I can understand Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina is an incredibly Andrew also says, I agree, Kevin Hart is the worst. I don't know if that's casting towards the movie, but Tiny Tina is a huge fan favorite. So I could completely understand why they found her a role in the movie. It's fine. I understand that. Krieg, on the other hand, I don't understand Krieg. Krieg's not a fan favorite. There is some lore that Krieg is actually Tiny Tina's father, that was experimented on and turned into a psycho. So that's who plays Krieg, which a good fit. I think that's a good casting, and Krieg doesn't really talk in the movie in the game either. So like he just blurts out like random bandit related shit.
Yeah.
But
why is he in the movie?
Why is he in the movie? There's Mordecai, there's Brick. That guy could have played Brick, no problem. Brick is this huge muscular dude, right? That was in the first game. Easily that guy could have been Brick. Dave Bautista, that would have worked too.
Yeah, that's fantasy casting.
Yeah. But I think that guy could have been Brick, no problem. The guy's muscular enough. So, like, I just don't know why they went with the characters they went with in this movie over the ones that they could have put in there. Mordecai as well. Mordecai is also a huge fan favorite. He's from the original base game as well. So it's just that there's a lot of weirdness. I want to be hopefully optimistic towards this, but man, the trailer really showed my concerns when I originally saw the casting. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. It really,
there's other big names in this as well. There's Gina Gershon is in this movie as well.
Oh, she's Moxie. Okay.
And that's, I don't know anything about Moxie, but that sounds like a good fit because Gina Gershon's
she's like a whore.
Yeah, exactly.
A bar owner. That's super hot.
That's what Gina Gershon is best at playing.
Yeah. Marcus Krieg, Hammerlock, Scooter. Oh, Scooter's gonna be in it. That's good. I don't know who Stephen Boyer is, but we'll see.
I think Stephen Boyer, and I'm gonna look before I embarrass myself. He is not who I thought he was. So he is from
oh shit, you Hyperion.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah, that's Scooter. That's Scooter's. Oh shit, catch a ride. So like there are so many people they could have casted in there over a few other people that would have made me more optimistic over the movie. But I'm just,
I'm surprised that Eli Roth is the director. He also wrote it, and Eli Roth has had 2 movies that made money. I don't remember what the first one was, but the second one was his most recent movie, Thanksgiving, the slasher movie that takes place at Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Interesting that they gave him a movie like Borderlands, which probably had an enormous budget. But Kate Blanchett, it had an enormous budget.
Well, there's so much source content for Borderlands as well. I mean, the first movie, the second movie, the third movie. I mean, there's a lot there to go through with it. So, I mean, it's not like they can, they don't have content. The content's there.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know why they went with the characters they did when, I completely understand Lilith and Roland. Those are 2 staple characters to the Borderlands franchise.
Well, it would be interesting what they end up with, because Eli Roth co-wrote the script too. So, and the budget was only $100 million, so it doesn't have to do really well to make money.
Yeah.
And he typically does movies that are the Thanksgiving budget must have been like $4.
Dave Bautista is great if he was only in the Borderlands movie.
Yeah, Thanksgiving cost $15 million to make.
Yeah.
So it's the minute it hit 40 million, it was a smash. But I love Dave Bautista. Him and John Cena have really become favorites of mine. I love them both. And they announced the second season of Peacekeeper, which I can't wait for. I loved Peacekeeper.
Oh, nice.
Did you see the first season of Peacekeeper?
No.
Do you have Amazon?
No.
You need to get more streaming channels, dude.
I refuse, man. I refuse to do all the streaming now. It's so expensive. I might as well just go get cable.
They are in such a fix right now. Here's what's going on with the streamers. None of the streamers are making any money. They're all losing money every year.
Yeah.
They keep raising their rates. What happens when they raise their rates? They lose subscribers. Yeah. When they lose subscriber, what happens? They panic because they lost subscribers.
So then they raise the rates again.
Yeah. And I read somewhere, or it was in a movie or something somewhere. The guy said that in 5 years, there's only going to be 3 streamers left. The rest of them are all going to have gone out of business. And that instead of watching television, we'll be watching the characters interact in our front room, which is entirely possible.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
It's so ridiculous now. Like if I want to watch one thing, I have to sign up for a streaming service for another and then do this and this and this. The whole reason of streaming services was to cut the cost of cable because how ridiculous cable was and the commercials and everything else like that. And now it's just as expensive, and you're forced to have commercials.
And you're still with
Amazon.
Oh, that pisses me off. There's a class action lawsuit about that.
Sued over that.
Yes,
because they breached the contract.
Because you paid in advance, so why should you get commercials all the way through?
Yeah.
But did you read your terms of service when you applied? It's probably in there.
Yeah, it probably says
It's
they
like-
could change
it's like-
the terms of service whenever they want.
It's
Nonsense.
like if you look at the Orkin agreement, it says something about just because you pay in advance doesn't mean you're not eligible for price increases.
Mhm.
It's like, well, that's kind of chicken shit.
Yeah.
It really is. So.
Well, so the other thing too, though, is they average in that when you paid for it that year for that year,
yeah.
it is advertised as commercial free streaming.
But if there's anything in the terms of service that says they can change that at any time, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not. Who reads them? Have you read them?
no one has time to read those.
Exactly.
It'll take you years.
That's all you do all day long. That's why I love that South Park episode.
Yeah.
Where they found out that you had to be part of the human centipede.
Yeah. But so, I mean, I want to say I'm hopelessly optimistic for the Borderlands movie. I'm going to see it. Like, I'm going to see it in
Yeah,
theaters.
of course you are.
Yeah,
We're going to watch the trailer as soon as we're finished here because I want to see it.
And then and then also on top of that, Borderlands 4 is due for an announcement as well, we think. And we think they're going to drop the Borderlands 4 trailer in August when the movie's released, because typically they announce Borderlands stuff in August.
Oh.
So and then the movie's coming out in August, coincidentally.
They want to get as much advertising for their dollars they can.
But Gearbox, who is the creator of Borderlands, they've been doing some teasing, and they changed on Twitter. They changed their background to have the Borderlands logo, but it's shaped kind of like a 4 and has a lot of characters in there, like Lilith and Roland, and
so something's happening.
Something's up. Something's coming up.
Yeah.
So I think in order for Borderlands to survive, and they need to go back to the basic of just slapstick offensive comedy.
Well,
and they missed that mark. They missed that mark on Borderlands 3 heavily. They made a couple characters gay, and they really focused on some women power stuff. And again, all of that's fine, except for the fact that it just wasn't funny. Like they took away loot midgets, right? They took away the term midget in the game because it was offensive. Well, yeah, but like that's the charm of the game, though. That was the charm of the game, because you're on this horrid planet called Pandora, where 2/3 of the population is fucking bandits that can barely communicate properly. Of course they're going to say midgets and super offensive stuff, because there's no common sense. There's no political correctness on this planet. And the moment they started putting political correctness into the game, it was just like, well, now it just feels like
that's the problem, because people jump on too quickly. That's I had somebody call when I was reviewing True Detective, the new season with Jodie Foster. Somebody called the station and said they refused to watch that show because it was racist and sexist. And there's two really strong women in the lead. How is that sexist? Well, as I watched it more with that thought in my head, I realized, well, no, it's not a sexist and racist show. It deals with themes of sexism and racism. And if you take those themes away, you don't have art anymore.
No,
you've got what Truman Capote said. You don't have writing, you have typing.
Yeah.
And you've got to avoid that. You've got, those themes cannot be considered offensive if they're being dealt with.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And that's people, instead of immediately, he said you can't do that job because you're a woman. Well, did you watch the rest of it to see how it turned out? That's people talk. It's like the one thing that bothers me, and I've actually been asked about this, is like, do characters smoke in your books? Well, yeah, because people smoke in real life. Well, aren't you afraid that's going to influence people? No. People smoke in real life. I'm not going to change a character who smokes because you don't like smoking.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it. And that needs to be addressed. That kind of thing needs to be, these topics need to be discussed. So you can't just let them
says,
sit there.
Fuck everything else. I'm putting my money on Deadpool 4 or 3.
Ooh, he is so right. Because you know why? Let's say it together. He's the Marvel Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for Deadpool 4.
Yeah. And
I have a feeling that probably won't be politically correct.
You know what? I think that's a fair. I think that's fair.
Yep, all for it.
But I mean, the places are so afraid of cancel culture, to where they're willing to just completely ruin their game, their movie, whatever it is,
Yeah.
to appease to it. And it's just like, it's such a small population
Well-
of it. And, and it's the perfect example with this Shane Gillis SNL, cancel culture lost this one.
Yeah, they sure did.
They lost it. They not only did him getting canceled turn him into an absolute superstar, I mean, literally turned him into an absolute superstar. Now he is on hosting the very show he was fired for,
Right.
For a clip that he said, years prior to that.
Yeah. And that's the way it should work.
Yeah.
Let the community take care of it. Let the community take care of it. Not these activists who are out there who instantly want to attack something.
Mm-hmm.
Let the community take care of it. The community said, hey, Shane's not so bad. He's funny.
Yeah.
That's how it should work. All right. So let's we're gonna start doing this on every one of our shows. We're gonna do a review section. So we started out today talking about the Demon Slayer movie.
No, we started out today with the beer.
Started out with the beer. I got a
Yes.
picture. Oh, I don't have a picture of the beer yet. Well, hold on. I got a picture of the beer.
We started out with the
This is-
peach beer.
There we go. We started out with the peach beer from Poseidon,
And then we segued into the Demon Slayer.
and we both
movie.
gave the beer a good thumbs up on that.
Yeah,
And
it's not my
then-
favorite. I wouldn't buy this again.
You go for the blood orange.
I would go for the blood
Yeah.
orange one. I don't feel that there's enough peach flavor in a peach beer. I get zero.
Yeah, I got a
peach.
little bit, but I still would like more. I
Yeah.
would.
I mean, when it's called a fruit series blonde ale, a fruit blonde series, I want fruit flavor. You know who does a really good fruit beer is Transmission. They
Oh,
have that raspberry daydreamin'. That beer is delicious.
I don't know that I've had that raspberry flavor, huh?
Yeah, that's a raspberry daydreamin'. That's what it's called, I think.
You know what? I
Really-
think I need to go Transmission, get a pizza, and drink a beer.
Yeah, let's go. I have that gift card.
That's right, huh?
Yeah.
Aha! All right. Then we talked about the Demon
The
Slayer
Demon
movie,
Slayer movie. Yep.
which
yep.
Devin gave a big thumbs up to.
It was enjoyable.
And then
Hey.
Duke was wanting to take
Yes.
part. Then we talked about The Last Airbender, which I'm not sure about yet. Probably won't watch again, but hopefully Devin will get a chance to see it soon and take a look at it. Ninja Kamui, though, Devin
Yes.
really liked, and that
I
sounds
do-
like the
I
kind of
do-
thing I want.
I do like it. Yep.
And we talked about Shane Gillis, of course, on SNL, which was very good. And
The
just recently,
Borderlands.
the Borderlands trailer, which I'm going to watch right now as we sign off. So are we good to go, sir?
We are good to go. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. As always, go visit our friends at The Grape. They are Ventura County's best and probably only jazz bar now that I think about it. There's other places that have jazz.
Is Dr. Shocker gone now, or
I was going to explain that. Thank you for that. Yeah, Dr. Shocker has he's moving to Reno this weekend.
Yes. Okay.
And that's why the new bartender there is Dazu Prime. And so when you go get your cocktails, they're not made by Dr. Shocker anymore. They're made by Dazu Prime. And their full cocktail menu with the actual rum cocktails instead of the soju cocktails will be opening very soon, and we'll keep you informed about that as well. And then again, please go visit our friends at The Grape. They are Ventura County's jazz bar, the best cocktails in town. Super craft cocktails. They'll make them right in front of you. As I was telling John yesterday, always ask for the after you have a drink, your second drink should always be the Bill Murray, because that means they're going to pick the drink for you based on what you look like. And I love that. You don't know what you're getting until they bring it
Based
to
on
you.
what you look like.
Last
Be an
time I
ugly-ass
ordered one-
drink they would give me then.
Last time I ordered one, it took them like 10, 15 minutes to make the drink. I'm like, what's going on? It brings me over a pineapple, and the pineapple had been hollowed out and filled with Mai Tai. It was pretty awesome. So, so anyway, check them out at The Grape, and I think we're done for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
See you next week,
We'll
folks.
see you next week.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.